Welcome back. So having a static customer details like this, where you just always show the same customer, no matter what you put up here. If I put 11, I should of course have shown customer with ID of 11. Well, that kind of sucks. So we're going to change that in our code right now. What we're going to do is we're going to use the service now to start getting real customers from our array of customers. So let's start out by adding just the customer service up here. It's going to be a private, there we go, customer service. And then we're going to put in the type right here. It's going to be customer service. That's the type. There we go. So now we have this parameter available. And what we're going to do next is we're going to use the customer service instead of the static customer. We're actually going to try and go from the customer service and add a new function called getCustomerById. Now that's going to go and retrieve the actual customer right here from our array and later from our REST API. So there we go, get customer by ID. And right now I'm just going to hard code 1, meaning that I'll always get customer 1 because we don't have route information yet, but we'll get that later. There we go. So we'll grab this method name. I'm just going to go and copy that into my service so I have this new name available in the service. Get customer by ID. Now I'll get back to the ID because I need that of course, but first let's just try and show you how you can actually go and from an array you can find, so let's say this customers, that's the array of customers. I can actually go and find a specific customer by writing cust. That's going to be a reference to each customer in the list. And with that cust, I can actually go and I can say cust with ID equal to the ID that I'm getting from the outside. Let me just wrap this up and I can explain it. So of course I need to get the ID from the outside, and I'll add that up here in a parameter. I'm going to get a number in this method right here that can kind of be passed in, and then I'll use that number to verify if I have a customer in my list of customers, the array, with the same ID, then it'll actually go and return that specific customer to me. Let me just try and give you guys some room here so you can see the entire function. So again, if you read line 28, it's saying this customers, that's actually the array of all my customers, go and find. And then the cust, C-U-S-T, is actually for each customer. We're going to use the customer's ID and match it up with the ID of the customer ID we're getting from the outside inside the parameter in the function. And if those match, I found my customer, right? And if that happens, I'm going to return him to my details component up here and just kind of prove you that this is actually working. I'm going to add something here, what we call breakpoint. I'm going to just write debugger right here, set a semicolon, and then I'm going to try and run my program. And you'll see how cool this actually is. Because right now, let's just right click and inspect element. You can do that in any browser, I think, and it'll just open up your developer tools down here. And it pretty much means that when I go and actually go to details now, let me just try and show you. If I go to /details, it'll actually hit the breakpoint where I wrote debugger. Right, so automatically I'm going to go right into my code where it says debugger right here. It's going to stop the code and I can actually mouse over my different properties and see if I actually got a customer right here. There we go. And I got a customer with the address of home, first name John, ID 1, last name Johnson. So it works. I got the customer. And if I just continue, you'll notice that actually on my details now, I have a very specific customer called John Johnson. He lives at home and we're all done. So that was how the debugger works and how we can actually go and start using a service now to get a customer by ID. Let's just get rid of the debugger again for now because we don't want breakpoints in our code all the time. But you can add the debugger whenever you need to kind of stop your program if you have a problem understanding why it acts the way it acts. So that's it for this lesson. Next lesson we're going to try and actually grab the actual ID from the route and use that to actually get a specific customers instead of just a static ID like we're using right now. That's it for the lesson. Have fun.